In this video, I inspected a 2026 Forest River Nobo, and I'm not just going to give you the details of what I found during the inspection, but I want to give you a little bit more information. We're going to talk numbers and construction, and if this is something that you should consider purchasing. Hey everybody, it's Deb with Deb's RV Services, and welcome to today's video. So let's get into this. I had an inspection, and it was for the tiniest version of the Forest River Nobo. They're sort of like off-road travel trailers, so they're higher clearance, they have beefier tires. And this couple was purchasing the tiniest version of it. So I was really excited to inspect it because it was cute like a little nugget. And I just want to give you some of the numbers so that you can understand like the dry weight and the cargo carrying capacity and all that. So when I looked at the sticker weight of it, it says the dry weight of this is 3,400 pounds and it can carry a little over 1,000 pounds of weight. And it was like 14 feet in length. So it's perfect for somebody that wants to go get out there in nature, but have the tiniest load where you can tow this thing with an SUV or a truck. It doesn't require you to have the biggest tow vehicle out there, which was always an issue when I started towing because I towed a tiny trailer at first and I didn't want to drive a big truck. I just wanted to be able to tow with an SUV. So this works out really well for those people that want that type of situation. With the higher clearance and the beefier tires, this is made for those people that want to go off-roading or get into the backcountry, like in the mountains of Colorado. So if you're looking for that type of adventure style of life, that right there is something that you want to look for. You definitely want to find something that has higher clearance and good beefy tires that can drive on that type of terrain. The construction here is Asdel, and that's a composite material, so it's better than that normal Luan that they put in the walls, and it is more moisture resistant, but it doesn't mean that you can't have leaks. Everything really is still about the maintenance of the RV. You need to pay attention to the sealant on the roof, how people care for it. So it doesn't mean that you're never going to have a leak or any problems, but it is a better construction. So I do think Asdel is nice to have, and that's a positive feature. On the interior, it's fine. It's made with some lightweight materials. It's not like the best luxury type of travel trailer out there. As far as the plumbing goes, it does have some flexible tubing and some PEX tubing. I noticed there was PEX underneath the kitchen sink, but then I also noticed that there was the flexible tubing with the PEX crimping behind the toilet and underneath one of the seats. And one of the things that I did notice was that where the pump was, there was some water staining on a piece of wood. This wood was really just kind of separating the cabinet where you can store things. And some of the things that happen, and this happens quite frequently when I do inspections, as it's like when it gets winterized, it's a little sloppy or unwinterized, and you will see antifreeze spilled on the floor, but the tech doesn't clean it up. And then also somehow there was a leak before, and so you see the water staining. And so that was noted, and it's something that you want to watch out for, because when you know that a pump is located in a certain area and also that you have that flexible tubing there, you want to pay attention because the flex tube with the PEX crimping can tend to leak a little bit easier. So always pay attention to those areas because that's where you can get some water damage. But I did notice some of the antifreeze just laying there and the staining on the wood. So that was definitely noted in the report. If you would like to perform your own DIY inspection, I invite you to come and take a look at my workbook that I have on a permanent sale. It has beautiful pictures in there, and it gives you detailed descriptions on how to inspect all the areas of an RV. This is really helpful for any of those that either can't hire an inspector or they just simply want to take a look at it for themselves before they hire an inspector. Now, I also want to announce that I did create a private Facebook group for anybody that has purchased my workbook. This is going to allow you to come in there and ask me personal questions about inspections, how to do them, what to look for, or any questions you have on the workbook. So once you purchase the actual workbook, you will get an email from me with a link so that you can join the Facebook group. So if you would like to make a purchase to that workbook, please go ahead and click on the link in the description. So one of the other things I found was that at the battery terminal, one of the adhesive like shrink wrap that goes around the copper for the wires, the connections to the battery, was no longer sticking. So they usually use like a heat source to like shrink it around that area so it protects it. Well, that was like falling apart, exposing the copper. So you don't want that. You want that to be protected. So that needed to be repaired. The other thing that I found were two of the wires that connected the inverter were just on one battery. And you want to make sure that you have a positive on one battery and the negative on the other battery. So it's utilizing both batteries. And this is something something where I would say, have it further investigated by a technician. I don't typically install the inverter in the solar packages, but I do look at the wiring. So I pointed that out to have it further investigated by a technician. So that was something that was going on with the battery. And then the other thing I found was there was a piece of flooring in the bathroom that was peeling up. So I noted that in the report. Other minor thing I found is some of the trim pieces were coming off and they were loose. So I pointed that out. But overall, those were the only things that I found during this inspection of a brand new travel trailer. Not bad. Overall, everything else worked. All the appliances worked good. The water flowed, the water heater worked, the furnace worked, the air conditioner worked. Everything worked good. Something that I did note in here that I just want to point out, because when I think of use, when I go into these travel trailers and I'm testing them out, or it could be a motorhome, anything, I always think about what if I lived in there. One of the things that bugged me was how loud the air conditioner was. When I turned on the air conditioner to test it, I personally couldn't stand the noise. There's something about the noise of an air conditioner when it's really loud that makes me feel like tense. And I have that problem in my own RV. And I know that you can change out these air conditioners to have better air conditioner that doesn't have as much noise. Like I know that the Furrion Chill Cube is one that I want to get for my own RV because it is a really good air conditioner and it's not as loud. So the air conditioner in this small travel trailer, when you're in such a tiny space and you're running it, it is just like super loud while you're trying to do other things. And I personally can't stand that. So you have to think of a lot of different things when you're looking at RVs or travel trailers that you want to purchase or potentially purchase. Go in there and turn on the appliances. Actually listen and get a feel for what they're like. Say you are hanging out and it's the afternoon and you want to you're on your computer, you're working, or you're watching TV maybe, doing something like that, and you have this loud sound coming in because your air conditioner needs to run, you're in a hot climate. Is that tolerable for you? Can you handle that? And if not, maybe you want to think of a different appliance, maybe a trailer that has a different type of appliance where you don't have those loud sounds coming in. It's just one of my observations that I found during my inspection. And I thought, why not point these things out to you guys so that when you're looking for a trailer or something that you want to purchase, not only can you see how the inspection went or how it's built or the materials, but you can also get an idea of how it feels to be in it. In this type of trailer too, you would have to make your own bed every time you went to sleep at night. For me, that's not something I like. I don't want that. But for other people, they might not care at all. If you want to get back out into the country and you're just using that for your adventure type vehicle and you don't mind having to make your bed up or whatever, and you're just a weekender and you just want to get out, it's a great little travel trailer. I know that that's what my clients wanted and they were happy with this choice. So I'm curious of what you think of the Forest River Nobo. Would you have purchased a travel trailer like this? Would it matter to you that you had to make up the bed? Would it matter to you that the air conditioner was loud? Would the things I found in this RV be something that would be deal breakers for you, or would you have purchased it anyway? Please leave me a message in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next video.